So I've been playing some bridge lately, and I thought, why not stream it and see how that goes? See if there's any interest in it. I couldn't really find anybody on Twitch playing it, at least live, so maybe nobody cares, or maybe I'll be the only one. I'm going to just talk about it here for a minute, and then I'll start playing and do, I guess, sort of an impromptu, rough tutorial. I would say if you really want to learn how to play, there's a tutorial that walks you through step by step. I think it's called Learn to Play Bridge. It's from the ABCL, the American, or ACBL, the American Contract Bridge League. I believe that's the acronym, and they put out a nice program that walks you through it really well. I'm using Bridge Baron 17 here, which is just the computer game I play on. I got started playing about 10 years ago, I guess. Bridge was about the only common card game I didn't learn growing up. We played a lot of card games. On one side of the family, we played Pinochle and Euchre, and on the other side, a little bit of Canasta and Rummy. And we played other card games at home, and we had the Hoyle rule book. So if we wanted to play a game, we could just look up how to play it. But bridge was one we never learned, and it was out there. You'd hear about bridge because it used to be hugely popular back like in the 50s and 60s, and there was still a bridge column in the newspaper. I don't know if there is today, but there was, in the 80s and into the 90s, was a bridge column, and Dagwood and Blondie used to play bridge in the in the comic strip, and it'd show up in other places. And so I think a couple times I read the rules in the Hoyle book to try to learn how to play, but I couldn't make any sense out of like the bridge column based on what the rules said. So I didn't learn. And once I did learn, like I say, about 10 years ago, I realized, well, the reason I couldn't make any sense of it was because a lot of what goes into bridge isn't the rules. It's the communication between partners that goes on, which it isn't in the rules. It's a whole separate thing. And so just reading the rules didn't explain what people were talking about when they talked about bridge. So I think I'll that'll, you'll see what I'm talking about when I get into it here. But I guess what got me started was I picked up a couple of bridge books from the 1960s by Charles Gorin, who I think was the best player at the time. I picked a couple of them up at a library sale, for practically nothing, and started reading through them and kind of figured out, okay, that's what this is about. And then I was hooked because it's I kind of think of it as the chess of card games, because there's just a lot more goes on. Most card games are mostly luck. I mean, they're social games. Euchre's a social game. There's not really a lot of strategy that goes into it. It's something you do while you sit around and chat, and it mostly comes down to the cards you get, and that's the way a lot of card games are. They're not pure luck, but there's a lot of luck involved. And with bridge, there's a few things that make it more strategic. One is that all the cards are in play. There's no cards off to the side. Another thing is that during the play, everyone can see half the cards. Everyone can see their own hand and then one of the other hands. See how that works in a bit. So it's not you don't have complete knowledge, but you have a lot of knowledge compared to games where you only see your own hand. And so, in the bidding system, the way the partners communicate is just pretty unique when you compare it to another bidding game like Euchre or Pinochle, where the bidding is really pretty simple. You're looking at here's the tricks I think I could take, or the points I think I could score based on what I've got in my hand. There's not a lot of you're not really you're not communicating back and forth with your partners. With euchre, you're really not communicating at all. You're just saying what you think you could do or couldn't. And with pinochle, you maybe take your partner's bid into account as far as figuring out the points, but there's not much back and forth. With bridge, there's a lot of back and forth, and there's a whole system of bidding. Well, multiple systems of bidding that have grown up over the years to allow that to happen, and that's kind of the fascinating part of it. So the way the bidding works, I guess that would kind of be the first thing to explain here. You can see in the computer game here, and I hope this is big enough. I've got it kind of blown up, but I can't seem to blow up the little auction section here. It's called Contract Bridge because you bid for a contract, and the contract is the number of tricks that you expect to take. And one of the first confusing things is that you bid from 1 up to 7, but you have to add 6 to that to say how many tricks you're actually going to take. So you can take up to 13 because all the cards are in play. Everybody has 13 cards, so the maximum is 13, but that would be a bid of 7. So basically, if you bid 1, you're saying you're going to take at least 7 tricks, 6 plus 1. So you just add 6 to your bid all the time to say how many tricks you're bidding that you're promising to take. Now you can bid in a suit, and the suits have ranking from clubs. With clubs as the lowest ranking suit, up to diamonds, up to hearts, up to spades. The spades are the highest ranking suit. And then you have no trump, which is if the hand is played in no trump, that means there's no trump suit. And that's a really interesting aspect of it too, because a no trump hand plays a lot differently from a trump hand. Now, every bid has to be higher than the last bid, and so that's why right now the first four bids, possible bids here are grayed out because East already bid 1 spade, and so I can't bid anything lower than that. I would have to bid higher, and so no trump is higher than any of the 4 suits, and so I could bid 1 no trump, or I could go up to 2 or whatever. I guess I should say that the 4 seats are north, south, east, and west, just as a convenience as far as a way to name them. Now, what's interesting about this is that a lot of bids are not actually what they say they are. They're a way to communicate with your partner, because the only communication you can have at the table during a hand, during the bidding, or during a hand at all, is through the bids. You can't talk about your hand, you can't ask questions about your partner's hand or anything like that. You can only communicate and tell your partner about your hand through your bids, or ask your partner. And so that's why I say a whole system or multiple systems have developed as for ways to do this. And so that 1 spade doesn't mean my partner, or East here on my right, doesn't mean East is planning to win 7 tricks in spades, with spades as the trump suit. What that actually means, and in the computer program here you can click interpret to see what it means, but what it actually means is East is saying I have at least between 13 and 20 or so points in my hand, and I'll explain points in a second, and I have at least 5 spades. So that's a message. See, that's a message for East's partner, and it's also a message to everybody at the table, because you're allowed at any time to ask your opponents what their message, what their bids mean, because you're not. That's another thing that I think makes bridge a more strategic game, is that you're not trying to do anything sneaky. You're trying to outsmart your opponents, but not fool them in a way, or you're. How to put that exactly, but basically you're not allowed to have a system that they don't know about. And so even if they don't understand necessarily the system that you and your partner are communicating with, they are allowed to ask you. Now, your partner's not allowed to ask you. If your partner forgets what one spade means, he can't ask you, and so you have to make sure you're on the same page. But that's what East's one spade. Now, there are different systems, but in the system that I have this set up to play, which is basically what they call standard American yellow card, and then I've made a few tweaks to it. In that system, a bid of one spade means 5 or more spades, and 13 or more points. Now, the points are figured by adding up your face cards, basically. Or that's your high card points. There's really two types of points: high card points and long suit or short suit points. The high card points are 1 for jacks, 2 for queens, 3 for kings, and 4 for aces. So you add those up. There's 40 points, 40 total high card points in the hand, and so on average you're going to have 10. I've got a really crappy hand here. I've only got 4. I got 3 for the king and 1 for the jack. So I only have 4 points. I'm not going to be bidding at all. Generally, to open the bidding, you want to have 13, or you want to have a long suit with, and then if you have a long suit, you can get away with fewer, and we'll probably see an example of that in a bit. Now, I can't open anyway because East is already opened. The first bid is called the opening bid, and then after that, then there's a responder, and you can overcall and other different things. But I won't be doing anything here with my crap hand. Now the other thing is, so I've got 4 high card points. The other thing is long suits and short suits. Long suits are good because if that's the trump, like if diamonds is trump, then that means I'm sitting here with 6 trump cards, which means probably I could win a few. Tricks. And short suits are good because that a short suit means you would have a chance to trump some of your opponent or some of your partner's tricks. So if diamonds would end up being trump, then after I play this jack, if my partner leads any hearts, I can trump on those and win some tricks that way. So when figuring out your total points, you take your high card points, which I've got 4, and then usually there's a couple different ways you can do this, but I usually count the short suit points. You can count either long or short. You can't really count both. I usually count the short suit points as kind of the older way of doing it, which means you get 1 for any doubletons, like my 9 and 8 of spades here. You get 1 point for those for any pairs in a suit, and you get 2 for any singletons, like my jack here. And then you get 3 for any empty suits, any suits you don't have any of. So I would have 3 points for short suits here, 1 for the spades and 2 for the hearts, along with my 4 high card points. I'd have a total of 7 points. Now, the points don't count for anything. They're just a way to figure out how strong your hand is, how valuable your hand is. Because in playing a hand, usually what you're trying to do, there are different kind of levels in the bidding. Up to 3 is what they call a partial game. At 3 no trump, then you get to what's called a game, and there's a lot more points at the game level. So 3 no trump or 4 hearts or 4 spades is called a game. So you'd like to bid up that high if you can. Now, a game in clubs or diamonds, you have to go up to 5 to play in a game in those, because those are called the minor suits. The clubs and diamonds are the minor suits, and the hearts and spades are the major suits. So if you're better off in the major suits if you have them. So the idea is you want to bid up to that level if you can. If your hand and your partner's hand together are strong enough, you'd like to get a 3 no trump or 4 in a major suit. Now, if you can go all the way up to 6, that's called a small slam, and at 7 is a grand slam. And that doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. So if you have a really good hand and your partner has a really good hand, you'd like to get up to a slam if you can, because then the points jump another level. And so the idea is you're trying to communicate with your partner and work out, first of all, how strong are our hands, because usually to go to 3 no trump or 4 in a major suit, you need about 25 points between your two hands. It's a rule of thumb, and it's not exact or anything, but that's just kind of in general. You need about 25 points to go to game. You need about 33 to go to a small slam. And so what you're trying to communicate with your partner is you're trying to get a feel for how many points do we have between us, and do we have a trump suit that would be good? Do we have at least 8 cards in a particular suit? Because if you have at least 8, that means your opponents only have 5, and generally you have an advantage in that suit, and so that would be the suit you would like to go to trump in. Now, if you have a balanced hand, especially if you both have balanced hands, which a balanced hand means you don't have any particularly long suits or short suits. You have a hand that's like 4-3-3-3, or you might have like 4-4-3-2. Then you're more likely to want to go in no trump, because you don't have a particular suit that has that can dominate. And so you're trying to communicate through the bids these things about your hands. And so that's what East has done here. He's told his partner, hey, I have at least five spades and at least 13 points. So now, you tell me something about your hand. Now, if I had a decent hand to bid, I could jump in and bid something, but I don't, so I'm going to pass. Now, West comes back with 2 hearts. Now, as the responder, his 2-heart bid is saying, first of all, he probably doesn't have at least 3 spades, because he's saying, he's not just jumping on and saying, hey, I have spades too, let's go in spades. Or it's possible he could have spades and have a great hand and know that we're going to be communicating for a while. But his 2 hearts is basically saying, I also have some points, at least like 10 points, and I also have at least 4 hearts. And so that's what he says right here. 10 plus total points, 5 hearts. Okay, I guess he could have 5 hearts. I don't think he has to have 5 hearts to say two hearts. But anyway, it doesn't say anything about how many spades he has, because we don't really know yet. Now, East bid. Now, North passed, so North has got a crap hand too, apparently. East comes back with 4 diamonds. Now, this is a specialty bid. Let's call it. See, some bids at least do tell you, yes, like, East bid of 1 spade did say that he had spades. West bid of 2 hearts said that he had hearts. But this bid is a special bid, since he jumped up. From 2 hearts, you would have to go up to 3 diamonds to bid diamonds if you actually meant that you had diamonds. Jumping up to 4 diamonds is a special bid called a splinter bid, which actually means he doesn't have diamonds. What it actually means is he only has 0 or 1 diamonds, but he does have hearts. So see, they call this a convention. There's a lot of conventions as ways to tell your partner extra stuff that doesn't mean what the bid looks like it means. And again, your opponent could say, hey, is that a splinter bid? And they'd say, yes, it is. So what this 4 diamonds actually means is I too have at least 4 hearts, but I don't have many diamonds. I only have 0 or 1 diamonds. And if we hit interpret, that's what it shows here. 0 or 1 diamonds, at least 4 hearts. And then it says best known fit hearts. So they've established now between them that they have a strong heart suit as a trump suit. And so they're going to want to go in hearts. So the only question now really is, they don't know how many total points they have. They know East has at least 13. They know West has at least 10. So they're close to having enough to go in game. And they're going to have to go to a game anyway, because if they're going to go to hearts, they've got to go to at least 4 hearts. So basically, at this point, when East says this, East is basically asking West, look, you can go ahead and go to game in 4 hearts, Or if you have a lot of extra points, if you have like more than 10 points, like if you think you might have enough points to go to a slam, then let's start communicating about that. So we'll see what West does here. Okay, West just went to 4 hearts, which is basically his way of saying, nah, I don't have a ton of extra points, so let's just go in game. And then everybody passes. So once that happens, then they've got the contract, which means 4 hearts means they have to get at least 10 tricks. Remember, because you got to add 10 to whatever, or you got to add 6 to whatever the bid is. So the hearts is going to be trump, and they've got to take at least 10 tricks to make their bid. Okay, and the declarer is West. That just means he's the one that bid hearts first, and so he's the one that's got to make the bid. Now the interesting thing is, you see how East's cards flipped over here. That's because whoever makes the bid, whoever is the declarer, his partner becomes the dummy. And what that means is his cards are just turned face up, and his partner, the declarer, plays them or tells him what to play, or he goes and gets beer for everybody or whatever. But the dummy's cards are just turned face up, and the declarer plays them along with his own hand, and so everybody can see dummy's cards. And that's why I said earlier, everybody can see half the cards on the table, because you can see your own hand and you can see the dummy's hand. So he had a heck of a spade suit, but they ended up going in hearts instead. Now whoever's to the left of the declarer leads. So in this case that's North, my partner, and so he bid he led with the king. I'm not going to have a lot to do in this particular hand. If you've never played a trick-taking, suit-following card game before, there may be a lot of confusion here. But basically, you have to follow suit. So, whether you can win the trick or not, you have to follow suit. So he played a diamond, so I've got to play. Everybody's got to play a diamond if they've got one. If you don't have one, you can trump. Or you don't have to trump. So I'll just play my lowest diamond. They're playing spades. So West over here won that last trick. I didn't see what he won it. Well, it would have been the ace. He would have won it with the ace of diamonds. So they played spades. I've got to play a spade. Played hearts. They flushed out my only trump. So I'm out of trump cards. So I'm just going to throw away these useless diamonds while they play hearts. I'm going to win a trick right here with my king, because the winner of each trick is the highest card of the suit led. So 7 of clubs was led. That means the queen is currently highest. I'm going to win it with the king. We've got 2 tricks now. We need to take 2 more tricks if we're not going to lose. Or, if we're going to keep them from making their contract, which would be the way to put it. They won that one, and they're going to win the rest of them. Okay, so they took 11 tricks, which means they took an extra trick. And we'll score the deal. Now, I play by what's called duplicate rules, which means the computer plays a separate game with the same cards, and then shows what score it got. And so basically it's a way to sort of compare yourself. People play duplicate bridge too. It's a way to sort of take all the luck out of the game, because you go with two teams. You go with a team of 4 people and pair up into two groups of 2. I don't know if I even mentioned it is a partnership game, but you are partners with the person sitting across from you. So, person 1 and 2 go off and play, and person 3 and 4 go off and play. And the cards are arranged by somebody who sets up the tournament. They shuffle ahead of time, and they arrange the hands. They deal out a bunch of hands, and then they set those hands up so that each team is playing through the same hands, just on opposite sides of the table. So if I play this hand as North and South, then the other half of my team is going to play it as East and West at some other table. And so you basically eliminate all the luck that way for your overall team. Here at the end, it's showing the hand, and you can see how they got to a trump suit of hearts where they had 8 hearts, which is kind of your goal. They could have had it in spades too. They probably would have done just fine in spades. Maybe, yeah, probably not better, but. And my partner and I, we could have taken some tricks in diamonds, but we couldn't have taken 5. We couldn't have made 5 diamonds, so it's just as well we didn't try. So now I'll say okay, and the computer playing it played to the same result. So, all right, next hand. I'm just going to kind of play through some hands here. I don't know what will happen in them because I haven't set these up in advance or anything. So I'll just talk my way through them. First thing you always do is add up your points. So 2 points for the queen, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 points. Another crap hand. Fairly balanced. I can throw on an extra point for the short suit here, so call it 7 total points. I'm the first up to bid this time, so I pass. Okay, my partner opened with 1 diamond. Now, I said before, an opening of 1 spade means you have at least 5 spades. And that's not so with an opening of 1 club or 1 diamond. That's true in the major suits, in hearts or spades. If you open 1, you're saying you have 5. But sometimes you have a hand that doesn't have 5, like my hand here. So you got to have a way to open. And so if you open in a minor suit, that doesn't mean you have at least 5. It just means you have at least 13 points and you want to open with something. So his opening 1 diamond tells me he does not have 5 spades and he does not have 5 hearts. He probably has at least 3 diamonds, could be more. Doesn't have more clubs than diamonds, so he could have a fairly balanced hand, but he has at least 13 points. I would like to respond to it by telling him I have at least 6 points. As a responder, you don't need as many points because your partner has already declared he has some. Basically, usually what you want to tell your partner is if you have 4 of something. And so I can tell him I have at least 6 points in my hand, which I do. I have 7 points, counting in my short suit here. And I have 4 spades, and so I can tell him exactly that with a bid of 1 spade. That's what that means as a response is I have at least 4 spades and at least 6 points in my hand. Now, the other team is bidding in with hearts, and so that's one thing, you want to interfere with your opponent's bidding as much as you can, because it makes it harder for them to communicate. So, but my partner came back with 3 spades, which he's saying, hey, I too have at least 4 spades. Remember, he didn't open with spades, so he doesn't have 5, but he does, it looks like, have 4. And he's probably telling me he's got a few extra points too to go up to 3. He probably doesn't just have 13 points. He probably has more like 16 points. And so he's saying, we can go up to the 3 level here. Do you have some extra points to go up to 4? Well, I don't. I'm sitting on 6 points over here. So I should probably not do that. Now I can ask for a hint, see what the computer would do. Yeah, say the computer would also pass, because I just don't have any extra points. It's basically what he's saying is, with this 3 spade bid, he's saying, I've got a couple extra points. Do you have some extra points? We could push on up to 4, but we really don't. So I'm going to pass. And now East is going in 4 hearts here. Now, since East is opening, East is the declarer. I'm sitting to East's left, which means I have to open. Now, the dummy's hand isn't shown until after the opening play. So I've got my two little hearts here as trump, which I would like to get to trump in on something, but odds aren't good that I will. When you're trying to decide what to open with, there's different things to consider. Usually it's a good idea, at least in a trump hand, to open with a suit that starts with a couple cards in a row, which would be my diamonds here. So I'm going to start with the queen, because by playing the queen, it's probably going to get beat, but then the jack becomes the next highest thing, so I'm not really losing anything the way I would if I played like the jack here. So That's what I'm going to play, is the queen, the top card of two in a row, two or more in a row. Okay, well, that worked out because that flushed out West's king, and then my partner was able to take it with his ace. So now he comes back with a spade, which a lot of times you want to stick with the suit that was led. So that could mean he doesn't have a diamond, because otherwise he would like to lead a diamond back to me, since that's what I opened with. And my playing the queen pretty much tells him I have the jack also, because of what I said before about liking to play from the top of a two in a row. The top of a run. So he may not have any other diamonds over there. I guess we'll see at the end. But he's playing an ace back, so I just play what I got. Nope, he had a diamond. I guess he just wanted to use his ace first. So, see, I can take the jack here. And then I can either play another diamond, or... Now, sometimes you have to stop and count if you're not kind of keeping track in your head all the time. 8 diamonds have already been played. 4 and then 4. So here's number 9, here's number 10. There's got to be 3 more out here. So, you don't know how they're spread out, and you don't know who has... I guess the 10 is probably still out there. I don't think I saw the 10 yet, but anyway, I'll just play it. Now, so my partner had the 10, but he also had the other 2 diamonds, and so East here was able to trump in with the heart. Now he's going to start flushing out the trumps before we can use them to take something else. And then usually when you're sitting to the left of the lead card, usually the second player just plays low, because I can see right here he's going to beat... If I play the jack, he's going to take it with his ace anyway, so I'll just play low. And that gave a chance for my partner to win one. So usually you play low in second position. Just once in a while there's reasons why you wouldn't. That's one of the tricks, is to know the win. The game will let you, if you get down to where there's no way you can lose the last tricks, you can claim them. And so East is claiming the last 4 because he's sitting here. He's going to win this heart. We don't have any more trumps. All our trumps are gone. So he's going to win this ace of clubs, and then he's got hearts to win, to trump the rest of the tricks, so he can claim the last of them. So again, we didn't have a lot of points. My partner over here had 4. Or no, that's right. We had a little more this time around, but my partner had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He plus a short suit, so he had just enough to barely be opening. So yeah, it was just as well we didn't try to go any further. They had a lot of hearts, so let's see. Now we did get a positive score because we kept them from making their contract. Their contract was 4 hearts. So they had to get 10. They only got 9. So we did, if this was just a friendly game, a friendly amateur game, that we would have scored points against them by keeping them from making their contract. Now, in a duplicate game, it doesn't matter because they did the same thing, coming back the other way. All right. Boy, I got a crap hand again. 2, 5 high card points, 2 more short suit points for the singleton, so I'm sitting on another 7-point hand. Once again, West's one of a major. 1 spade here means he has 5 spades at least, and at least 13 points. East coming back with 2 clubs means he doesn't have good. He's not good in spades probably, but he'd like West to know that he has clubs, and also that he has a decent 10-point or so hand of his own. So that's what they've told each other so far. 13 points over here, 5 spades. 10 points over here, and 4 clubs. He actually hasn't said anything about his spades yet, because sometimes you'd like to tell your partner about another suit and then come back and say, oh, and by the way, I do have spades. So now I'm going to pass. West coming back with 2 spades is basically his way of saying, I don't really have anything but spades. If we're going to go, we got to go in spades. And probably he's also saying he may have 6 spades. Not just 5. Not necessarily, but He is a good solid spades hand. And so East is now saying, okay, spades it is. Alright, so we'll see what we got here. Declarer is West this time, and so my partner at North is opening. So here we can see, he opened with the 8, East played the 10, I have the king, and I can see the aces right here, so I don't have to fear my king getting beat, unless it would get trumped if he didn't have any diamonds over here. But now that was 4 diamonds. I've got 4 more diamonds. That's 8, 9, 10. So I can see 10 diamonds, which means there's 3 more out there. So probably they're split here, but I'll just play a diamond back. Oh, that worked out well. So my partner was already out of diamonds. He played his only diamond to open. So when I played a diamond back, he was able to trump in on it, which is always nice. So now I've got to just follow suit with his hearts. Nope, we can't beat that, so I've got to just play my 9. And now they're flushing out the extra spades. So, see, my partner was able to win that 1 spade, that 1 trump. He was able to trump in with his 1 spade before they were able to flush that out, which is nice. And they're going to go ahead and claim the rest. So we weren't able to stop them from making their contract, but we at least did get that 1 point that we might not have gotten if he hadn't played his 1 diamond right off the bat. Okay, ooh, a good hand finally. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points in high card points. And I have another 3 for my short suit in spades, so 19 points total. So I definitely want to be bidding in here. Now, East has already bid 1 spade, so I can't bid like if I was opening. If no one else had bid yet, I would bid one heart to show my 5 hearts and my nice hand. I can't do that because it's already past 1 heart. One spade already outbids 1 heart, so I can't bid that. I can't really bid 2 hearts because that doesn't mean the same thing anymore at this point. So I need to be able to tell my partner I've got good cards. And so there's a few different ways I can do that. I can go up, I can bid two clubs, I could bid the 2 hearts. But there's another thing I can do, which is to double. Now, double technically means doubling the points that you win at the end of the hand. It doesn't actually double them, but it like raises the penalties if you don't make your hand. So what double technically means, if I click double here, is that we want to punish them if they don't make their bid. But what people learned over the years was that doubling for that purpose rarely made sense early in the bidding, because we know they're not going to stop at one spade. We know that that's just the beginning of a communication here. And so what people started to use the double for was something else, which is called a takeout. When you double on a 1 level bid, or even a 2 or 3 level bid for a lot of systems, what you're actually doing is you're actually asking your partner to bid his longest suit, which isn't spades. His longest suit other than the suits that have already been played. So I'm going to double here. Now, he has to do it. He's absolutely required to do it unless the opponent breaks in with something else, and then he's off the hook. So by doubling, I was saying, I want you to play your longest suit in the other suits, but he didn't get a chance to do that because West came in with two spades. Now, he still could have done it if he had some extra points, but by not doing it, he's telling me he's got nothing over there. Now, I'm going to back up and just see what the computer would recommend at that point. Nope. Oh, the computer okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. This is called, if you bid the same suit as what your opponent bid, that's also a conventional bid because you can't really mean it. He's already said he's got 5 spades. I can't really mean I want to go in spades. So what that actually is called is a Michaels bid. A Michaels bid means you have the other hand, the other major suit. And usually it means you have the other major suit and one of the minor suits, but we don't know which one it is. And so you're telling your partner, hey, I have the other one. Let's try to figure out which we have. And when he comes back with two no trump, he's basically saying, I don't have that. And so his is kind of a denial of saying, I don't really have anything to run with here, so what should we do? Then really then I'm kind of in a spot, which I guess I would retreat to clubs, because if he doesn't have good hearts, then what do we do here? And I've still got a good hand. I still want to go in something, but I don't really want to go in no trump, because I don't know if my partner has any spades, and we'll be screwed if neither one of us has any decent spades. So see what the computer would do. 4 clubs. I don't know why you would jump up to 4. Sometimes you jump up just to keep your opponents out of the bidding, but I'm just going to go to 3. See, that was the idea. By jumping up to 4, keep them from bidding 3 and 4. If I go to 4, and then my partner's like, ooh, let's go to 5. Now he's going to 5 because 5 is a game hand. Whereas 4 clubs isn't, and so you'd try to get to 5 clubs if you can. So let's run with that. Okay, now I'm going to be the declarer because I was the first one to bid clubs. Whoever's the first one to bid the trump, the contract, whatever the suit contract is the one who's the declarer. So my partner will be the dummy. And so his hand gets turned over as soon as the first play comes. So yeah, you can see I really wouldn't have been very happy with a trump suit of hearts. Actually, diamonds would have even been better than that. Clubs would have been good too. Or clubs is good. Wouldn't have been very happy in no trump because we just don't have very good spades. So, but since I don't have any spades, I'll be able to trump this one right away and win that hand. Okay, now 5 clubs means we need to take 11 tricks, which means we can afford to lose 2 tricks. So when you're the declarer, the first thing you got to do is look at this, because you're playing both sides, and you look at it and say, okay, where am I going to lose tricks? Well, I'm not going to lose any tricks in diamonds. Probably won't lose any tricks in clubs, because I started out with 8 of them. I've already played one, but started out with 8, which means the opponents have 5. The most likely way for 5 clubs to be divided is 3 and 2, 3 on one side and 2 on the other. If that's the case, then my ace, king, and queen will flush out those 3, and we'll flush them all out, the 3 and the 2, and then my 8 can take something else. Now, if they're divided 4 and 1, that won't be the case, and I'll probably lose one of those tricks. So I could lose a trick there. And then here in hearts, I could lose a bunch of tricks. Because they're sitting on the ace, king, queen, and jack. They could win 4 heart tricks. What I would like to do, ideally, would be lose 2 of them and then play the others off on these trumps over here. To do that, I can't go ahead and if I want to do that, I can't go ahead and flush out the trumps first. So yeah, so we've really gotten into too high a contract here. Probably we're probably not going to make this, but because I'm sitting on, how many points did I say? That's 9. That's 16. Yeah, I had 16 plus 3 for my empty suit, for my void suit. That's what they call it. 19, and then my partner, he's only got 4 points over here, so we got 23 points between us. Really need like 27 to go to 5 in a suit. So yeah, we're probably going to come up a little short. So let's see what the computer would do. Yeah, the computer would basically try to just give up these two tricks, and now I'll have to spend another trump. And then, no, It's going to go ahead and clean out the trumps. I don't know. So you're still going to lose. Yeah, I don't know. The computer isn't necessarily a perfect player. I mean, it's as good as me because I'm not very good. But since I've cleared out the trumps, now I don't have to worry about my diamonds getting trumped. So I can go ahead and play them, and then I can discard one of these hearts on that last diamond. But now I'm gonna lose that. I'm gonna lose that. I'm gonna lose that one. So ended up coming up too short. Could only afford to lose 2 and ended up losing 4. See if the computer did any better. No, same deal. We just got into too high a contract. Like I said, I didn't think bidding 4 clubs was really a great idea, and then when my partner went to 5, like, they were a little too high. Alright, next hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12 points. Plus 2 for this singleton, 14 points. So I have enough points to open. So now I have to decide what is my opening bid. Well, I don't have 5 spades, don't have 5 hearts, so I can't open with them. I've got to open with my clubs. So I'm going to open 1 club, which tells my partner basically that I have 13 points or more, and I don't have a long spade or heart suit. That's what it tells him. It doesn't really tell him much about my clubs, because I could open with as few as 3 clubs. Now my partner came back with 1 spade, which means he has at least 6 points, enough to respond with. Probably a little more than that, since he responded over an overcall by the opponent. But basically he has at least 6 points, and he has at least 4 spades. Now they're bidding diamonds, so we probably don't have a lot of diamonds. I certainly don't. My partner probably doesn't either. So what do I want to tell my partner next? Well, I could, if I come back with spades, I'm kind of telling him I have at least 4 spades also. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to bid no trump, because that would be implying that I can block their diamonds. My other option is to go up to 3 in clubs and basically tell him I have real clubs, not just like 3 clubs. And that's probably what I'm going to do. So let's see what the computer would do. Pass? Well, that is an option too, is to just pass and let the opponents play a little more. Now, let's see what happens if we do that. Because I don't have a great hand. I just have a good enough hand to open with. But I don't necessarily have, since they bid in, it is okay to just let it go. Oh, and everybody passed. Okay, so we're going in 2 diamonds, their bid. Alright, so I can either take it with the king here, or I can play the jack and hope that my partner had the queen. Let's see what the computer would do. Nope, just play the king. Usually in the third seat, usually you do play your highest card. And then I come back low. Yep, that was nice. I don't know if that went too fast to see, but since my partner led with his only club, so then when I returned clubs, he was able to trump in on it. And now he's playing spades, so I'll play my higher spade. Generally, when you have a group of cards in a row, usually you lead from the top of the group and you respond with the bottom of the group. And that's just a conventional way of letting your partner know that, like if I play the queen here, if West had the king, he would win with the king. If he doesn't win with the king, he's going to win with the ace, and that tells my partner I have the king. So there's all sorts of little communication things you can do that aren't necessarily hugely important. A lot of times they don't matter at all, but they're just ways to tell your partner more about your hand. So by playing the queen, I leave open the possibility that I have the king. And so my partner will know, and so now I can win with the king. So in that case, it didn't really matter. He found it out anyway. But so now if I stop and think, let's see, the first round of clubs was 4 clubs. The next round was 3 because my partner trumped in. So that was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so all the clubs that are left are visible here. which means if I play another club, it's a chance for my partner to possibly trump in again. And he did. Good deal. And now I'm just discarding, and now they can claim the rest of them. So we didn't stop them from making their bid, but we did take a couple of tricks. Let's see how the computer did. Oh, the computer did even better somehow. So I don't know how, but anyway. One thing I wish I could. You can watch the computer play the hand, but you have to decide that ahead of time. You can't decide afterwards. Hey, I'd like to go back and see how it did that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points plus 2 for the singleton is 9, 10 points. Not enough points to open with, so it'll hint that I pass. Now, this is interesting because now I can bid. Now, that's because when you open, you're saying you have at least 13 points if you open with one of a suit. There's other bids, but we'll get to them when they happen. But now that they've bid, well, no, I'm sorry, I thought that was a spade for a second there. They bid clubs and diamonds. If I were to double now, I would be telling my partner that I have at least 10 points with hearts and spades, and I want him to bid either hearts or spades. And that's not the case, and so I can't do it. If they had bid spades and diamonds, I could do it, but they didn't. So it's going to hit that I pass again. And now they're going to go back and forth. So, yeah. Okay, they're going to end up, this is our first no trump hand. So 3 no trump means they're going to game. They think they can get at least 9 tricks without a trump suit. There's not going to be a trump suit this time. Okay. My partner's declare. He played the 10, which he's probably playing that from the top of a run, top of a sequence. He probably has 10, 9, 7, something like that, which is helpful to know sometimes. Now, there's no point in me playing the jack because that's no better than his 10. I mean, it's better than his 10, but it's not going to beat anything the 10 can't beat. So I just play down here. Now this time I'll play my top card, play the jack, and they take it. Okay, I've just got to discard something. Oh boy. They've got that's a long suit, a really long suit can really pay off in no trump if you have, if you can get to it, if you can get, play it all out. Boy, that stunk. See how the computer did. I'm bad at no trump sometimes. Now the computer did just bad. I guess we didn't have much to stop them with. Once they got into that, once they got that diamond suit established, and then they could just run them on out. So no trump is dangerous if, like I said, a long suit can work well in no trump, but you have to make sure that you can get all the other suits stopped because you don't want your opponents to take off and play some long suit they have. So you have to make sure that you have stoppers in every suit when you play no trump, which they did. They had just enough that we couldn't get going in spades. We could win a spade trick, but then they could win the next one. You know, we could win one with the ace, but then they could win the next one with the king or the queen, and then take off in the diamonds. So probably the only way we could have won that, done better in that hand, is if we just started with spades from the beginning, which, well, that's what he did, though. He did start in spades, so even though he started in spades, we just couldn't stop him in diamonds. Okay, here's an opening no trump trick for the first time. And a one no trump is special. It means 15 to 17 points. So no trump openings are very specific. It means he has a balanced hand, so he either has a 4-3-3-3 hand or a hand that only has a single doubleton. He doesn't have any singletons. He doesn't have any void suits. So he has a balanced hand. You know, no really long or short suits, and he has from 15 to 17 points. it's a very tight range, so it tells you a lot right from the beginning, which is why it's a nice, it's a bid you like to make. You don't get to make it very often, but you like to make it because it tells your partner a lot. So now I'm sitting over here, I've got only 5 points, and so right away I know we have from 20 to 22 points between us. And that's high card points, by the way. The no trump, one no trump means 15 to 17 high card points in a balanced hand, so no short suit points. So I know right away we don't have enough to go to game. We don't have enough to take this up to like 3 no trump. And so my purpose then is just to get us into a decent suit. And since I have 5 hearts here, and I know he has at least 2 hearts, my purpose is going to be to say, let's get into hearts. And so I'm going to use what's called a transfer bid. These are called Jacoby transfers. After a no trump bid, when you're responding to a no trump bid when the opponent hasn't done anything, a 2 of diamonds means I want my partner to play 2 hearts. And that's what he does. He doesn't really have a choice. Now, he can go up to 3 hearts if he has an especially good hand, but I'm just telling him, go to 2 hearts. And then it's up to me to decide, are we going to try to go a little higher than that, or are we stopping there? And I'm going to pass to stop there. Because I'm basically saying, I don't have any points over here, to go any higher than that. So let's just stop as soon as we can at 2 hearts. And as it turns out, he had 4 hearts, so that that works out well. But even if he only had 2, even if like this, even if his hearts were this, even if these switch diamonds and hearts here, we would still be okay with 7 trumps. You'd like to have at least 8 trumps, but 7 you can live with. But since we got into a decent trump hand, we should be in pretty good shape here. So now I'm actually playing North's hand. It just flipped him over for me. So, looking at this, we've got a bid of 2 hearts, so we need to make at least 8 tricks, which means we can afford to lose 5 tricks. So, if I look at this before I start playing, probably going to lose 2 diamonds, probably lose these to the king and the ace. I'm going to lose 2 clubs for the same reason. At least, then I can play the 3rd one off on a heart over here, on a trump heart. And could lose 2 spades, because I'll win the ace, but I could lose the other 2 here before I can trump the last one. That would be 6, that's too many. I need to try to find a way to win one of these things. So, let's go ahead and play. And lost those 4. Okay, now I can win this one with a trump. Alright. Now, I don't remember. See, if you're really good, you know what it all has been played. I'm not that good. I don't remember if this queen can be beat. Let's just play it and find out. No, okay. Yeah, I guess that's right, because the queen, the king and the ace had been taken, and then, yeah. Alright. So I've lost 4 tricks already. I can afford to lose 1 more. But the first thing I should do is clean out the trumps. So we started out with 9. I've played 1. We started out with 9, which means there's 4 out there. I have the top 3. So as long as the 4 are not all in one hand, I can clean them all out with my top 3. So let's play the king and see what happens. There's a 5, there's 4. Okay, that got 2 of them. So there's only 2 more trumps out there, and I can take them both with the king and with the queen and the ace. I'll play the queen, that gets one of them. Play the ace, that gets the other one. Okay. Now, these two trumps, they're high. They're not, you don't have to worry about them. So the last thing I've got to do here is, can I avoid losing 1 more trick? If I just play to the ace here, then I'm going to lose to the king with the other one. But if I play the queen and east here has the king, I'll win with the queen too. Oh, didn't that time, so anyway. So I won. I made my contract, just barely. What I did there with the queen and the king was what's called a finesse. I'll suppose I'll explain that in more detail sometime. But so we made our contract, and so did the computer when he played it. I don't know if anybody is. I don't know if anybody has showed up for my chat yet, or well, I haven't seen anybody in the chat. I don't know if anybody has watched yet. I don't know if this has some way. No, it says there's a viewer, but I think that viewer is probably me. But it also says there's been 26 views. I don't know if that means for this stream or for. Anyway. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 points plus 1 for my short suit here. So 12 points. Now my partner already opened. So my partner's telling me he's got 13. I'm sitting on 12. So I know right away we should be able to go to game in some suit. And I also happen to have 4 hearts, which matches his heart suit that he opened with. So he's got 5, at least 5 hearts. I've got 4, so we know we've got a good heart suit. Now the way for me to tell him this, if I would just bid like 2 hearts, that doesn't actually tell him enough, because that would only mean I have like 6 points and hearts to match his hearts. The way to tell him I have a good heart suit and a game going hand is actually what's a note is actually by a conventional bid of 2 no trump, which doesn't actually mean I want to play no trump. It actually means I also have hearts and I have a game going hand. It gives him a chance to decide whether he wants to stop at game or go on up to a slam. And by playing 4 hearts, he's saying, I want to stop at game. And so I would just pass and we stop there. Now, West jumped in with a 3 clubs. But by the time we were already up to 4 hearts, East didn't have any chance to really say much. Okay, and it swapped hands here for me to play out North's hands, since North is actually the declarer. So let's look at this. 4 heart bid means we can afford to lose 3. Probably going to lose 2 here at the clubs. Shouldn't lose any spades. Could lose 2 diamonds. Shouldn't lose any in the hearts unless, well, could lose a heart if they're all on one side again. Okay, so okay. All right. So the first thing to do, this jack is now high. These are high. The thing I'm concerned about is diamonds. I need to somehow avoid losing both of these diamond tricks here. The first thing I need to do is deal with hearts. Get rid of the hearts that my opponent has if I can. There's 4 of them still out there because I've got 9. The only danger is if one of the opponents has all 4, then he could throw his small 3 on the ace, king, and queen, and he would still have the jack to win a suit or to win a trick with. So I'm going to play to the king here first and just see what I get. Okay, we got 2, which means there's only 2 left out there, and so now there's no danger. I can play to the ace, play to the queen. There's the jack. Okay. Now what I have to try to do is try to win a suit with this king. I can do that if East has the ace. Basically, that's what it comes down to. If East has the ace, I can win one with the king. If West has the ace, I can't. Because what I'm going to do is play the 3. Now, if East has the ace, if he plays it now, then I just throw away the 4. He didn't play it, but anyway. If he doesn't play it now, I win with the king. So now I play the king, and I won with the king. So East did have the ace. If West had the ace, all West had to do was wait until I played the king and then play on it. So win that, and now I'm going to lose a trick, and now win the rest of them. So made the contract because the king was over here, or well, let's see which side it was on. Yeah. I don't even remember what don't remember what suit that was. I guess it was clubs. No. Shoot, I don't remember. Oh, no, it was diamonds. It was diamonds. So yeah, I was playing. Yeah, I was playing to the king here, and since the ace was here, that's the thing. You're always better off if you're playing after the other guy. Whoever plays last has the advantage. And so since I was coming after his ace, I was able to win with the king. And I'm sure the computer did the same thing. Alright, this looks like a good hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 points. Now, normally I would bid 1 heart, but I can't do that because East already bid 1 heart. So what do I bid here? Generally, when you have a lot of points and not an obvious bid, you double if you can. If the other team, if you don't have an obvious bid because the other team already took your bid, you double, because that's basically asking my partner to bid his longest suit, and then I can go from there. So since he bid spades, we could go in spades, but another option is to go in no trump, because I have hearts well covered, even though he opened in hearts. So I could go to no trump, and that's what the computer is going to suggest. Now he bid clubs, which, so he's saying he's got spades and clubs. He's got at least 4 spades, at least 4 clubs. I've got hearts, and I at least have an ace of diamonds. I at least have that to stop in. So I can go back to spades now to tell him I have at least 3 spades. And now he's saying, yeah, let's go in spades. So, and then I can go to no trump to say, but I'm also good in no trump. So we're kind of walking up to it here. We're kind of, slow playing this and communicating back and forth about what we have. So we probably only have 7 spades between us, but I'm basically saying, look, we can stop in no trump, or if you have an extra spade, we can go back to spades. And that's what he does. And so at that point, he's basically saying, yeah, I've got 5 spades, don't worry. Because I told him right here, when I went to no trump, this in the first place, instead of just saying yes to spades, I was telling him I don't have 4 spades. And then when I said 2 spades, I was saying, but I do at least have 3. So, with all this communicating back and forth, we eventually settled that, yeah, we do have 8 spades. So let's go in spades. And so that's what we're going to see here. Yeah, he had 5. Now, I can beat the king with my ace, but before I do that, let's look at the situation. Alright, we've got our 8, and we've actually got all the high spades, and so we're not going to lose any spade tricks. We're not going to lose this heart trick. I'm going to take it right here with the ace in a second. But we do have some problems in clubs and diamonds. We could lose all the club tricks, and probably will lose 1 diamond trick. And then the others would need to be played off on trumps over here, because these hearts aren't going to do any good. Alright. So the thing to do now is going to be either, the question is, do we go ahead and clean out spades, get rid of, clean out any dangerous trumps lurking out there? Because to do that, it's probably, the other 5 trumps, the other 5 spades, are probably split 3-2. That would be the best case scenario. So it would take 3 tricks to clear them out, which would eliminate these spades over here to do any trumping of these weak suits over here. So if I do that, I don't know, that's going to leave a lot of tricks, because like I said, I'm going to lose. If I do that, if I don't have any spades over there to trump with, then I'm probably going to lose 2 diamond tricks after winning 1 with the ace, and I could lose up to 4 club tricks without anything to trump them on. I don't want to lose 6 tricks. I can only afford to lose 3 tricks. So the other option is I go ahead and play some of these, and then trump the others off on these. So that's probably going to be what the computer recommends. No, the computer says start cleaning out trumps. Oh boy, I guess that surprises me a little. Okay, so we cleaned out the trumps. Let's see how this works. I can always back up and play the hand again. Because that's going to lose one. I'm going to win that one with the ace, but I don't know. I don't understand this strategy because I'm already under the yeah, I lost like I thought I was going to do. I lost 5, not quite 6, but let's back up and do that the other way I was talking about. Okay, I'll go ahead and win that. Now, okay, now I've cleared out those. Now come over here. Oh, and that forced out one of his spades. That's not a bad thing. Now take these. This is called a cross ruff. When you trumping cards is called ruffing. When you trump in on another suit. And so a cross ruff is when you're going back and forth. You have different suits on each side, and you're trumping them on the opposite side. See, that was better. In fact, I made my bid because the spades were pretty evenly divided, and I don't know. I was smarter than the computer that time, I guess, which doesn't happen that often, but. Yeah, there just wasn't any way that cleaning out the trumps first was going to work because I had too many weak tricks in these other suits. So that was a beatdown. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 points, 8, 9 if I had for the short suits. So I don't have enough to open. So I shall pass. My partner also passed. And then East finally came in with a club, which means East has 13 points. You can actually get a hand passed out because if everybody is sitting there with about 10 points, nobody will have enough to open, and you can just pass all the way around, and then you just reshuffle, redeal, skip that deal. Now, let me back up. I could possibly, although this is a very weak five spades. If I had a couple of better spades, I might bid in because you can overcall with less points. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it works. To open, to be the first bidder, you generally need about 13 points, but you can overcall with about 10 points just because you want to get in there and interfere with their bidding. But like I said, I only really have 9 points, and only 7 of those are high card points, and my spades are very weak. So I'll pass on that. And we'll just... Okay, so 1 no trump is the bid. So they have to make 7 tricks. I think these low no trump hands are some of the hardest to actually, really get a feel for what should happen, because they only have to get 7 tricks, which is basically just over half. And a lot of different things could happen in no trump. So, since I'm opening, and let's see what the bidding was, because I've already forgotten. Okay, they bid clubs and spades. So I would like to go in something else, because usually a no trump, the best way to beat a no trump bid, a no trump contract, is with a long suit. If you can find a long suit between you and your partner, and get that suit established and run off a few tricks in it, that's your best bet. Now, my longest suit is spades, but they bid spades, and so one of them probably has at least 4 spades. Well, yeah, he had to have at least 4 to respond in spades, which means there's at least 9 right there, which means my partner probably only has 2. So that may not be our longest suit. Diamonds may be a better bet for our longest suit. Let's see what the computer would do. Yeah, so the computer is going to say, let's go in diamonds, which is what I was thinking too. Plus, the other thing is my spades are so weak that even if we establish that long suit, we're going to have to lose a lot of tricks to get there. Where over here I have a king, so that makes it more attractive too. Okay, that flushed out the queen and the ace, so now my king should be a winner next time if I ever get the lead again. So he's playing. Okay, I got the lead. So now we need to go back to diamonds. The question is, yeah, I don't want to play the king because all that's going to do is flush out small diamonds. I want to see if my partner can come in with like the jack of diamonds. The queen and the ace have already been played, so let's see who's got the jack. Oh, they had the jack. Somebody still has the 10. Now, if I could get the lead again, I'd play the king and probably flush out the 10. I probably am not going to get the lead again, though, because my hand is so crap. I ended up winning with the king in the end, but they took 11 tricks. They only needed 7. That's kind of a moral victory that when a team could have gotten a much higher bid and they don't. Now, we didn't interfere, but still, it's kind of like, well, they could have gone to game and they could have scored a lot more points and they didn't. So, all right, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 points, and it's a balanced hand. 4 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards. Perfectly balanced hand, as balanced as it can get. And 20 points, there's a special bid for a balanced hand with 20 or 21 points, and it is 2 no trump. Right there. 2 no trump tells your partner exactly that. 20, 21 points. 20 to 22 points. Well, 20 to 21 high card points. There's really no short suit points in a no trump hand. And balanced hands. So that gave my partner all the information he needed to decide exactly where we needed to be. And him coming back in 3 no trump basically means, yeah, I've got at least a few points, but not enough to go to a slam. So we'll stop here. And he's basically also saying, yeah, I also have a fairly balanced hand. So I have a good enough hand to go to a game, but not enough hand to go to a slam. So we're going to stop here at 3 no trump. Otherwise, there would be other bids he could use to signal let's go higher. All right. So let's look at what we got here. We can afford to lose. Well, with no trump hands, you usually look at what you're going to win, not what you're going to lose. So, should win 3 spades, ace, king, and queen. Should win 2 hearts, win the ace, and then either the queen will get beat by the king, and then win the jack. So there's 2 more there, 3, 4, 5. Win the ace here, that's 6. And then here, should win the king or the queen. And then, lose the 10 to the jack and win the 9, 8, So, should win 4 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we should win enough tricks unless the opponent can take off in a suit and win a whole bunch. Should be okay. The key here is going to be to get the diamonds established, to flush out the ace and then flush out the jack so that the rest of the diamonds can be run. Now, with this first suit, I don't want to play the ace right away. I want to see, can I win one with the queen or the jack and save the ace? And as it turns out, I don't even have to play the queen or the jack. It doesn't really matter because the next trick is going to force the ace. But I won the first trick with the 9, so that's nice. So now I can get started establishing these diamonds. Now that forced out the ace. Okay, now this next one. Hey, there we go. We forced out the jack already. I should have counted the diamonds. I would have known that was going to happen. So now, just have to get back over here to play the rest of these diamonds. Now, sometimes that can be tricky. It's not this time, but sometimes that can be tricky. You have to watch, especially on no trump hands, because without trumps, that limits your possibilities. But sometimes you can get where you can't get back to the other hand. But this time I can, because I can go from here over to the queen, and then I can play these diamonds that are all high. And then I come back over to the spades, play this, and then I'm pretty sure, now I wasn't sure if that queen was high, but it wasn't. So I got a couple extra tricks there. See if the computer did any better. Yeah, I thought I did something funny there. I think I could have done better with what I did with the going back and forth. But anyway, easily made my contract. But yeah, I don't think I had to lose. Well, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I see what it is. With the spades, since his spades were split 3 and 3, once I played the 3 high spades, I had a high, my final spade was high, and that could have won, and then I wouldn't have needed to try to win one with the Queen of Hearts. So, should have been watching for that. The computer did that better. Alright, 6 points for the 2 kings. So I don't have diddly this time, so I will be passing. My partner is also passing, so the opponents are in a hand of 4 spades. They have to get 10 tricks in spades. Now, my opening here, I don't really have a good opening, I would say. I don't have a sequence at the top of a suit. I don't have. If you have a singleton, it can be good to play the singleton, because then if your partner plays it back, returns the same suit, you can trump in. I don't have that. A lot of times what people will do is they'll play the 4th card down in their longest suit, which is what it's recommending. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll just play the 4th card in hearts. And my opponent happened to have the ace, and so he won it. He's returning hearts, but the East is already out of hearts, so East is already trumping in, which is fairly typical. So, okay, I can win that one with my king there, which was nice. Now I could try to win a heart, but I know I'm not going to, because I know he's already going to be trumping on him, so I might as well play a club. Sometimes you don't have a good play. You just have to play something. And they claimed the last 2. So we couldn't stop their contract. Just had not enough points. Not a good enough hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, now this is an interesting one. Because I'm surprised. I don't have any hearts, but I do have at least 4 in the other suits, and I have 9 high card points. Call it 12 with the missing suit, with the void suit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double, because it's a takeout double. A double on a one of a suit bid means I want my partner to bid his longest suit, not of hearts, not of what's been bid already. Now, he didn't get a chance to, because they jumped on up to 4 hearts. So it's a moot point now, but basically he would have bid. I would have been happy with any of these 3 suits, is the thing, as long as he had any points at all, which you usually do. You usually figure the average hand is 10 points, so he's going to have close to that. You think, okay, if he bids any one of these, we can make a try at it. But he didn't have to. He would have had to if West had passed, but he didn't pass, and so North was off the hook. So we're going in hearts, and I have no hearts at all, which can actually be a good sign, because that means my partner is more likely to have a few. Now for a lead, since I have a sequence here at the top of spades, that's what I'm going to lead. Because what happens is, even though my queen got beat, it's kind of like these got promoted then. If I get a chance to play the jack, that'll flush out the king, and then my other spades will be high. It probably won't matter, because it's hearts or trump. But now here's a chance for me to signal to my partner. I don't have any hearts, so whatever I play can be a signal. Generally, when you signal, if you play a low card, you're saying you don't have anything good in that suit. If you play a higher card, you're saying you do. So if I play the 2 of diamonds, I'm saying I don't have crap in diamonds. If I play the 7, I'm saying I do. So I'm going to play the 7 there. That may end up not being, and now I'll play the 2 because that shows that the 7 was higher than I had to play. That may not end up mattering at all, but if my partner gets the lead, he will know that diamonds is a good suit to go in. It's basically an invitation to play diamonds. And it, like I said, as it turned out, it didn't matter because my partner never got the lead again. But anyway, we held them to just their contract, which is what the computer did. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. 10 points with a short suit, so I don't have enough to open. And, okay, they bid 1 no trump. My partner also passed. And they ended up in 3 no trump. And I have to lead. Since I'm leading, and I don't have a strong suit, I just have a long suit, I'm going to bid the 4th card down in my longest suit. So I'm going to bid this, or lead, I should say, not bid. Basically, what you're trying to do when you're trying to stop, when you're opposing a no trump hand, you're trying to establish your long suit. And so if I come up high, play the queen, his jack will still be there to win the next one. But the idea is we're trying to flush it out. Because see, now my 2 diamonds are high. So if I can get the lead again, which I should get at some point from the ace, I'll win 2 tricks with these diamonds. So that's what you're trying to do when you're up against a no trump bid. You're trying to establish your long suit so that later you can win tricks with it like I'm doing right now. And so by doing that, that beat their contract. It kept them from making their contract because they only got 8 tricks and they needed 9. If we had started in any other suit, see, we've only got 6, 7 between us. Even though we only had 7 between us here, once it helped that he had the 8, it helped that my partner had the ace too. But just the fact that once we flushed out their 6 cards with the first 3 tricks, that made the last 2 high. So that's why you usually play your longest suit against no trump unless you have something else to do. 15 points plus a couple for the short suit here, could be 17. So I definitely want to bid my spades, and I can, even though he started with a club, I can overcall with 1 spade. Now my partner doesn't have anything to say, so my partner apparently doesn't have much to work with. So we're done because I don't have enough on my own to just take off and and go up over 2 no trump. I don't have enough to go to the 3rd level on my own, so we're probably done. But okay, so we're playing against a 2 no trump hand, so they have to get 8 tricks in no trump. So the question is now, what do I play? What do I lead with? Let's review the bidding. I already forgot what they bid. Okay, they bid clubs and diamonds and then went to no trump. So they probably don't have many spades. They may not have many hearts either. I have a really strong, sequence here of hearts, but I have this long suit of spades. I really think I should probably go in spades. No, that's not what the computer says. I'm going to do the opposite just to see what happens. So I'm going to go with the 4th card down. Actually, because I have 3 in a row here, I'm going to take the top one of the group. But okay, we flushed out the king. Okay, what should I do here? Now the question is, what should I do here? My partner is going to win this one with the queen unless I come up over the top with the king. I don't know. Sometimes you do want to do that. Sometimes even though your partner is going to win the trick, you know that you have the better cards. I could come up with the king, because I think I'm going to run these spades when I do, but let him have it. Now that was the better move, because now I can take his jack with my queen, and that's going to run the spades. Now I need to back up here. I should be watching my partner now while I play these, because I know he's not going to be helping, or he's not, he doesn't have any more spades. So I should be watching. He played a fairly high heart there. He played the 8 of hearts, which is probably an invitation to play hearts. Yeah, because there's a low heart. So he played a higher heart than he had to before, so he's saying he has some hearts. So once I'm done with my running my spades, I'll come with hearts, and look, they're already out of hearts too. So now he comes up. Well, we did a nice job that time. They needed 8, they only got 3. And yeah, see, the computer probably played hearts first, which was okay. That was not a bad strategy, but boy, I liked that long spade suit, and that did better than playing hearts first. You do like to play from a solid sequence like that too. So they were both good choices, but okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points plus a couple of short suits. So that's enough for me to bid my 5-card spade suit over top of his diamonds. Okay, my partner, by saying 3 spades, that's a pretty specific bid when you go up to 3 of the same suit. That means about 10 points, not 13, not enough to go to game, because then he would bid 2 no trump. But he's saying he has spades, he has at least 3 spades to go with my 5, and he has right about 10 points. Yeah, 10 to 12, but not 13. So it's basically an invitation to me to say, look, if you've got a couple extra points, because my first bid told him I had at least 13. So he's saying, if you got a couple extra points, you can go on up to game, because we'd have 25 points between us. And I do, because what did I count, 15? Yeah, I counted 15 plus the short suits, so yeah, we easily have enough to go on up to 4. Alright. Ooh, East is doubling, which means either East either thinks that we can't make it and he wants to punish us, or he's asking his partner to bid higher. Or he's asking his partner if he wants to bid higher. I guess he's just trying to punish us. And we'll see what happens. Okay. Diamonds are fine. Now in spades, we have 9 spades, but we don't have the top 2. So we're almost certainly going to lose 2 spade tricks. Then probably lose a trick in hearts. And then clubs will be okay as long as I keep some trumps over here to trump the small ones on. Alright, so let's go ahead and win this. Now the question is, do I deal with these clubs right now? And I think the answer is yes, I'm going to deal with some clubs right away. I'm a little concerned about seeing that jack show up already. But let's go ahead and trump that. Oh, there's the queen. Boy, he might be out of clubs already, which would be a dangerous situation. Let's see, we've already played 4 diamonds and 7 clubs. There's 4 diamonds out here, which means there's still 5 diamonds in their 2 hands, which are probably split 3 to 2, or possibly 4 to 1, but they're probably not split 5 to 0, so I'm probably safe in playing another diamond trick. Okay, there's 3 more diamonds out there in their hands. So the question, if I play this queen, I can throw this 5 away on it. There we go. I guess the other 2 diamonds are both over here, and this guy must not have any okay, this guy doesn't have any trumps, or he would have trumped in on that. That explains why East doubled on us, because East was sitting on or is sitting on 4 trumps. Alright. Well, let's get rid of that ace. So now the question is, should I start clearing out trumps, or should I try to ruff another club here? I think he's probably out of clubs over here, but I'll try it. Nope, he still had one more club. Well, that worked out great. Alright, so now the thing to do is to start clearing out trumps, because I know I've got to lose 2 trump tricks here, so let's get about losing them. Well, that was weird. He didn't want to take that one. Huh. I guess he just doesn't want to take them yet until he's forced to. Well, it allowed him to win the last trick, but we made our contract. Got extra points because it was doubled. Yeah, I probably could have had that last one somehow. I think that's him slow playing me on the trumps confused me. I probably could have got that. I apparently could have gotten that one more trick. Oh well. Could have got that one extra trick. Let's play one more hand here, I think, before I turn in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points. But I could open with that, but he's already gone up to 1 no trump. I can't go over top of that with what I've got. So East played 1 no trump, which means 15 to 17 points, balanced hand. West played 2 diamonds, which is a transfer to 2 hearts. So East had no choice but to play the 2 hearts. West plays 2 no trump, which is basically his way of inviting East to say, basically his way of saying, look, I did this because I had 5 hearts. If you have 3 hearts, let's stay in hearts. If you only have 2 hearts, let's go to no trump. And so East by passing is saying, I've only got 2 hearts, let's stay in no trump. And so that's what we'll see when we get to the end. Now, I don't have a long suit to play. I know that one of these guys at least has, I know that they have 7 hearts between them, basically, is what I know. I have 4, that means my partner probably only has 2. So my better bet is going to be to go over here to diamonds. Let's just play the diamonds. And since I don't have a sequence of 3 at the top, I play the 4th one down. This is a 7. That's just a convention. That's just that everybody pretty much follows, so that you kind of give your partner some information that way. Now they're going to try to establish that 5-card heart suit, and we're trying to establish our diamonds, and we'll see who gets there first. Now this is one time where I'm not going to play low in second chair, because I want to come up here and grab that and play that diamond. And now I suppose I'll move to clubs as the next interesting thing. Well, I won a heart. Well, I did better than I thought there. They needed 5, or they needed 8. They only took 5. Yep, did better than the computer for some reason there. I'm not sure exactly why, but anyway, that's bridge. Oh, this is a good hand. Let me play one more hand. 16 points, balanced hand, means 1 no trump. That tells my partner basically exactly that, 15 to 17, balanced hand. He's doing a transfer bid, means he wants me to play 2 hearts, which I shall do. And now he's saying, okay, I had 5 hearts, so you choose whether we should stay in hearts or go back to hearts or go to no trump. Because I have 3, we have a good heart match. And so I'm going to go to 4 hearts, which is sort of my decision whether to go to 3 or 4. It's kind of iffy. 4 might be pushing it, but you like to get to 4 if you can. Alright, let's look at what we got here. I'm going to lose a heart to the ace of hearts, no doubt. Probably going to lose a diamond. Probably going to lose a club. And we could lose, we're going to lose at least 1 spade, could lose 2 spades. See, I shouldn't have gone to 4. I thought that was probably pushing it. But I can take this with the ace. Now we need to start clearing out trumps. Okay, now there's a chance here to try winning with a couple of these queens. That worked. Let's go back over here. Let's try winning with this queen. Now that worked too. Go back over here. Can we win one with the... I didn't need... Hold on a second. So all the trumps are taken care of because he trumped in with the ace finally. I don't think this 9 is high. No. Yeah, so we came up short by one trick. I thought 4 was too high. Should have been 3 hearts. Could have made that. Somehow the computer made 4. I don't know how that happened. I must have missed something. Alright. Anyway, that's good for tonight. Hope this was interesting. I might sometime try to set up more of a step-by-step tutorial. I don't know exactly how to do that, but I guess I could, because you can specify hands by numbers. So I guess I could play through and kind of pick out some hands that explain things more in a more orderly fashion. When you just play like this, you never know what's going to come up. We didn't have any slam hands. We didn't have any 2 openers. We didn't. Everything. All these were pretty ordinary hands. There's a lot of different stuff that can happen, but hopefully this was just kind of a good introduction to what the game is like. I think it's. I find it fascinating. I've only gotten to play with people, real people in person a couple of times, because there just aren't that many people around that play anymore. And it's a lot of fun. The thing is, to really play very much, to really be any good, you kind of need a regular partner, because you do need to know what system you're playing, what your bids mean. Now, really good players can just sit down with other really good players because they all know the systems. But for amateurs, you're not really going to know them that well in that kind of depth, in real depth, and so you kind of need to know somebody that you play with a lot. And it'd be nice to have that, but since I don't, I just play against the computer programs, so which is fun. At least keeps me in practice in case I do get a chance to play sometime. So anyway, I hope this was fun. I will probably stream this again when I'm playing, since it seems like it handles it okay. So that'll be all for tonight.